faith, love, openness, willingness. Faith, love, openness, willingness. You're in the flow with Rev Skip. Hey, good morning, family, and welcome to another episode of In the Flow with Rev Skip. And if you don't know by now, I'm Rev Skip. I want to introduce myself to you, and I hope to get to know you as well. But welcome to the spiritual zone here. And when you're in the flow, we have faith that a transformation can happen. We love ourselves through each and every step of the process. We are open and willing to have a new experience in spirit so that we may get in the flow. And one of the things I love about this show, we were talking right before I got on, I was talking with our guest today, is that, when we're in the flow, everything happens. We don't have to make it happen. We get to allow it to happen. So today I am excited about being in the flow with you. And of course, I don't do this show alone. I have a co-producer. His name is Diego, and he's back from vacation.
I'm back. Good morning, Godling. How are you today?
Oh, I'm blessed. I'm so blessed. I'm so grateful, Diego.
I miss all you guys.
Yeah, we missed you too, but I got to tell you, Rev Briz held it down. He was so good.
I was catching some of the show, and I thought you guys, you're looking good.
Yeah, we had a good connection there. So thank you, Rev Briz, for standing in for Diego. Dude, you went to Niagara Falls. What was that like?
Oh, it was a lot of fun. I wanted to do a little stop. The trip was to go see my son graduate. My son Antonio Reyes graduated from high school at South Burlington. So we flew into Buffalo about a couple days early. Stopped off and saw Niagara Falls and rented a car and drove across upstate New York over to Burlington and watched the graduation, then flew back from there. It was everything went without a hitch.
I've never been to Niagara Falls, and I've been to Canada, but I've never gone to seen the falls. The one thing that I'm like, it's so not right and it's so not real, but I see the barrels going over the falls. At one time, was that real? They actually had barrels going over the people in the barrels for real?
There's lots of stories of daredevils, of adventurous people who wanted to try to see if they could challenge the elements and go over the barrel. I actually got a lot of video while I was on it, and I've comprised a little montage that I'll be playing on my show tomorrow, Spirit Says Sink, so be sure and tune in, and it'll feel like you're right there at Niagara Falls.
I always love your show because I never know who's going to tune in and who's going to sing and what they're going to sing, but it's always in the flow, man. It's always divine. It's always beautiful.
In the flow will be my special guest will be my son Tony. He'll be talking about his graduation, and I'll show some videos of that. And on In the Flow, or not In the Flow, but on Spirit Says Sing, I'm always inviting people to come on to sing a song.
Right.
If they've got if they're a speaker, a poet, or maybe a comedian, they want to come and tell us something. I also try to encourage, especially with the pandemic, a lot of people have been getting into this filmmaking. Have these little short films that they've put a lot of time in, but don't really have anywhere but their Facebook page to show them. So I think tomorrow will be a day where, hey, come on, show us your videos. If you got something to show us, tune in to
video day. I love
Sing
that.
Tomorrow.
Yes. Well, right here at the New Thought Media Network, we have so many different varieties of ways that we can inspire you and we can motivate you. And
let the divine reflect.
Let the divine reflect the way we can connect to each other.
Ooh, I like that. That's it. I'm going to use that.
Please do.
Divine reflect and let us connect. That's good.
There you go. Creating poetry right on the spot. So while you're away, a couple things have happened. We shifted the name from Shop Rev Skip to The Awake Shop.
The Awake Shop. That's
you ready for it? It's called The Awake Shop. The Awake Shop by Rev Skip, and we've added in some new collections, hats and mugs. We've shifted some things around, and can we bring up the website so people will see when they go to Shop Rev Skip, which they can still get there. It will actually be The Awake Shop, but Shop Rev Skip still goes to The Awake Shop, and we have the awakeshop.org as a way of getting to there as well. What I love about the new collections and all the collections that we have, 10% are actually going to go to supporting some group or someone who's making a difference on the planet. So we have Kahumba in Action. We have the Trevor Project. We have Justice LA that we're supporting. We have New Thought Media Network. We have Voices Uncaged that we are supporting. We're really putting our money where our mouth is, putting it out there. And I'm going to walk the walk and give back to everything we do. And while you were gone, I did this, and I was like, okay, I'm going to have to do this since he's not here. Create a new promo for it, and done by myself. So let's take a look at this. Shop Rev Skip becomes The Awake Shop. Inspiration you can wear. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, and mugs. Head over to The Awake Shop now. awakeshop.org. Okay, master promos.
You've done so good. But Rev, I have to tell you, I'm very proud of you. You're doing such a great job. Look, and we got some viewers right there. Everybody's just so proud of Rev Skip.
Hey, y'all. Thank you so much for your support and supporting us. Thank you, Bill. And I just love who comes in every week. They support, and they're buying T-shirts, too. I'm wearing part of the Pride collection as we're celebrating our LGBTQ and plus community. We are actually helping young kids who are thinking about suicide as a way out, and we're saying no. So we're supporting the Trevor Project, and we're helping teens who identify to understand there's nothing wrong with you. You're absolutely beautiful. You're a divine emanation of God. And that's why I'm doing the work that I do. My purpose statement, Diego, we talked about this before, and I've been saying this more and more when I begin any of my live programs. They say, my purpose is to help people to see the light within them as I shine the light within myself. So light meets light, and that's what we're here to do. That's exactly what we're here to do. Dude, I'm glad you're back.
I'm so glad to be back with you guys.
I'm gonna try to see if I can get on. I'm actually working tomorrow, and I'll talk a little bit about this later on, but I'm actually doing a sound bath guided meditation to celebrate Juneteenth at one of the companies I worked for a long time, Equinox Fitness. And when they've asked me, this is the third sound bath guided meditation that I've gone in to do. It just blew me away because I never saw Equinox going into the spiritual direction, and they're having me to come in. This is my third one I'm doing, dude. So man, I'm really excited about Equinox and their movement to celebrate this in a spiritual way.
So altogether, we can change this world.
I love that, brother. Well, welcome back, and thank you so much for all the work you do here. And everyone, it is now time for... So that is the sound of Wellness Wake Up with Rev Skip. And our Wellness Wake Up for today is we're getting back to basics. And getting back to basics means this. There are 5 things that I really subscribe to doing that's helping me to really embrace physical wellness and wholeness in my body temple. Number 1, get some activity every day. So I've made this journey of working out every single day. There's not a day I don't miss that I don't do something, maybe stretching, yoga, may it be getting on my bike, maybe doing whatever, taking a walk. I do something every single day. There's no off day in fitness for me. The other number 2 is up your fruits and vegetables. And I subscribe to having more of a plant-based eating, mindful eating practice. And we're going to talk a little bit about that maybe next week about the ABCs of mindful eating, which is amount, balance, and connection. I created this to help my clients to lose and to be healthy in their bodies, but to lose weight. We'll talk a little bit about that next week. Number 3 is get more sleep. And I can tell you, I have been challenged with sleep lately. Since I've been back from the East Coast visiting my mother, Rebecca Elizabeth Jennings, her 88th birthday during Memorial Day weekend. I was on East Coast time, and whenever I'm on East Coast time, it's very easy for me to fall into East Coast. But, coming back to the West Coast, it was challenging. So the last 3 weeks, I have not gotten any sleep. And I've gotten just very minimal sleep, and it's affected my vibration. It's affected how I feel, how I move, how I've been grooving. So get more sleep will affect how your body feels. Number 4 is prioritize your mental health. And what I mean by that is prioritize your mental health by meditation. I believe the biggest thing that we can do for our mental health is meditate. And then the last one, this is a big one, ditch the sugary drinks and opt for more water. Well, I'm going to click out of this so you can see what my water jug looks like. This is my water jug. It's a big one. And I try to drink at least 2 of these a day. Now, the only thing about drinking so much water, you do go to the bathroom quite a bit, but that's okay. That's a natural process. Drink the water, cleanse out. Now, I'm going to be really honest with you. That sugary thing, and my roommate Bill is online with me right now. He knows it's my birthday. It's my birthday on Wednesday. And Bill said, what do you want? And I haven't had a real big birthday cake in years. So I'm going to actually have a great birthday cake from, I think it's called the Milk Shop. I've never had anything from the Milk Shop, but I hear it's one of the best birthday cakes ever. So I'm going to celebrate me turning 57. I'm going to have a little bit of birthday cake, but I'm not going to live on that birthday cake. Trust. But yeah, I'm going to celebrate with a little bit of sugar cake. There's Bill's cake there. I love that. Thank you, Bill, for reminding me. Cake. Cassandra, hello. And hello to everyone that's coming into this spiritual zone. Blessings. So our quotable ponder for today. So our quotable ponder for today is about why we celebrate Juneteenth. I want to put this up, and if you're listening to this as a podcast, which will be available right after the show, it says Juneteenth, celebrating Black resilience and a dream for freedom. Powerful statement. I want to read this to you and just quote this, and listen to this quote and ponder it for a bit. So Juneteenth facts. Juneteenth celebrates the end of slavery in the United States. On June 19th, 1865, Major General Gordon Granger arrived in Galveston, Texas, and announced the end of the Civil War and the end of slavery. However, Emancipation Proclamation came 2.5 years earlier on January 1st, 1863. Many of the enslavers continued to hold the enslaved people captive after the announcement. So Juneteenth becomes a symbolic date of representing African American freedom. So why is it so important that we ponder this? we must understand that this has been a journey of our ancestors. And I speak to the ancestors for all the people because our ancestral realm has no gender, has no sexual orientation, has no color. It is just spirit. So the ancestors walked this path of resilience. And it is here to guide us and to protect us, to remind us of the reason that we stand here is because of my enslaved ancestors. So I pay homage. Also, what I talked about in my live broadcast this morning, I talked about this is that when we decide to move out or come out of slavery or come out of bondage, what are we willing to drop into? What I'm willing to drop into today is feeling the love here in this podcast, this live podcast, or with my guest that's coming up, or with my roommate. I'm falling into love. I'm dropping into peace and into oneness, into appreciation and gratitude. One other thing I want to say about Juneteenth, I remember last year when President Trump at that time was doing his stuff. It's called what it is. It was his stuff. He wanted to have a rally during June 19th. And this has always been a sacred celebration in my family and most of the African-American community that I've known. And I was getting really angry watching this on TV. And I heard Spirit say to me, what this man has wanting to do for separation, there's going to be something so good that comes out of this. And what came out of this? Tomorrow we have our first federal holiday for Juneteenth. Because of his stuff, we know about Juneteenth on a global scale. We now have a federal holiday. So I find the gratitude in even what his antics were. I'm grateful that we get to celebrate and we can remind ourselves about freedom. So tomorrow for Juneteenth, I will be at Equinox and I'm going to be doing a sound bath and guided meditation about us continuing on this journey of inclusivity, of oneness, and experiencing God as one. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, y'all, I am so grateful. So excited to have this guest, my next guest. I want to tell you just a little bit because I'm going to have her really talk about who she is and why she is on this planet and what she's here to do. But y'all know is Rev Arlene. Rev Arlene Hylton. I'm so grateful to have her. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what she's done. And, Michael Beckwith is teacher for a lot of us that's online here, but has been a mentor for Rev Arlene. Our Rev Arlene is actually my mentor. It's one of my first mentors when it came to becoming a minister. She wrote actually my recommendation for getting into practitioner training and into ministerial schools. So she's been a part of my life. But Reverend Michael has really guided her, and she is, she helps our young youth at Agape International Spiritual Center to understand who and what they are. I had the privilege of serving as my internship under her guidance and her direction for our young teens. That is her heart, y'all. That is what she does. I've been a part of her I'm Keeping True, which is we fast. When you're a part of it, you fast for Lent, you fast for Ramadan, and you really embrace. And fasting means so much more than letting go of something. It's about what are you willing to embrace. And I learned that from Reverend Arlene. Listen, she actually graduated as a minister. When I graduated as a practitioner, she graduated as a minister. We shared that graduation day together. And here she is right now. Let's bring in Reverend Arlene. I love this woman. Hey.
Hey there. Good to see you. I didn't realize how much we share.
We share a lot. We share a lot.
My running joke was, you're the male version of me. So I used to...
And I take it. I love that. We even shared, there was a long stint of time where I was the manager for Equinox in South Bay, and you were a member. You would come in.
Equinox. I was.
We have so much conversations while you're on the treadmill. It was like, I had to let me go do some work.
Right. It was me calling myself into, I chose that particular fitness center because I was like, I see wealth and I'm going to be in wealth. and I'm going to experience it. And then it was good for a good year and a half. And then I decided, let me get more wealth so that I can.
Because Equinox, yeah.
Though, I mean, the place is spotless. So I just want to first say I'm grateful. I'm honored to be here, Skip, and we are truly in the flow. And I see a lot of amazing people I know that are out there. You know,
the feed is lighting up.
My good friends are. I see my team, yay! And Hope is in the house, and Cassandra is out there. I mean, these amazing people, and many of them meditate with me on my page on Monday nights.
Yes.
I do a meditation, and this actually started last year. It started last year because I asked Spirit, not that I wasn't doing enough, but I asked Spirit, what can I do for this season of, first of all, being in a pandemic and
yes.
quarantine, right?
Right.
And driving, you know, I'm still working at my treatment center. I'm actually here at Safe Harbor Treatment Center. I'm at the Women's House in the meditation room. And I was driving, you know, it's a 45-mile drive one way for me. And so that was happening, dealing with that. And then coming home with gratitude, but what more can I give? And Spirit said, do a meditation on your page. So I'm thinking it's one meditation.
Yes.
I'm going to do this Monday night meditation on peace for those who are marching, to give them a night of relaxation, ending their day. And now a year later, it's been every Monday.
I'm grateful. So grateful that you're doing that. What I do love is the fact that I know, like yourself and myself and a few other of us, actually all the spiritual leaders I know really stepped up throughout the pandemic and said, okay, how can I serve? How can I be of service? Created so much around the pandemic. And we have these opportunities to be a beneficial presence on the planet, which we always say from Agape. So how has this pandemic been for you personally? And what have you learned from this pandemic?
Well, there's been quite a few things that have happened. Number one, again, gratitude for Safe Harbor, that we were still able to support individuals because addiction went up.
Yes.
More people were drinking alcohol. More people were getting involved, having havoc come forth in their life. So we were still here. We're still here supporting individuals in healing and transformation. And I realized you're talking about resilience. You know, being on that road, sometimes at 5 or 6 o'clock, I was the only one on the road. No one else. It was almost like I was in the twilight zone, and I had to really look at the whole thing and go deeper within myself to stand in gratitude that I could do this, because those who were home, I don't know if they could understand how it felt for those who were driving or out when nobody else was out. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It was a feeling in my human self, in the egoic self. It was almost like a, like, this is weird. What. Then I had to remind myself that the presence is right where I am, that God is my life, the living breath. Like, I had to really bring myself into center with a really high level of gratitude. My gratitude expanded during that time. And then I wasn't, basically we were asked to work, be there, but we couldn't be out. You couldn't be out. So it was like, work. If you need to get your groceries and then go home. So we were in these two spaces.
Yes.
Then at Agape, I was alone on the floor on Sunday morning, Zooming in with the teens.
Yes.
Making sure that our teenagers were able to know that right where they are, God is. So they could understand that they're not alone. So my team, we were still, Zooming in, getting acquainted with Zooming. I've never been so grateful for any type of media thing like Zoom, because it really helped. And for me, I just want to say this. I feel that it brought me closer. I became closer to my family. I became closer to myself. I just, and when I say closer, like more conscious of how I'm thinking, what I'm feeling at the moment, what I'm going through, as I'm supporting others in their healing. So for me, what this whole thing did for me was awareness, gratitude, and it showed me that I can continue to serve even though my plate may be full, I can do something simple that can actually serve and help those who are home having difficulties with being home.
What comes to mind, the question that comes to mind about this was, how did the teens maneuver? How did you help our teens maneuver through something that we all were like, this is something that none of us have ever experienced in any of our lifetimes? What was that process for teens to maneuver through this time?
Well, you know what? We didn't make it a focus.
Okay.
We didn't say, oh, you're home. You know what I mean? It was just like, hey, we're here together. Look. And it was, again, gratitude and appreciation. We have met teenagers from Trinidad, from Canada, from all over the United States, from Belize, even my young adults. Remember, I'm Odyssey, the young adults ministry.
That's right.
I direct that also. Our young adults from Peru and from all over. Hey, high gratitude that we get to meet one another.
Yes.
Focused on the oneness, that we're all one, that even a pandemic cannot separate us.
Yes.
That something is always going to bring us together, and that they're not alone. Even if you're in your home alone, you're not alone. There's a presence of power that is with you always, that will never leave you, nor will it forsake you.
Yes, yes. We also had a global expansion for our LGBT plus ministry from Nigeria and from Libya and from the Middle East. And some of these places it's still illegal to be gay. So they found us and there we go. We were on Agape. We heard that you were having a meeting. We didn't even know you were here. And it just, I was like, okay, this is what we've been talking about.
Yes,
we can come together instantaneously all over the world. That is powerful. And I got to do a shout out to, we have a mutual friend, Joshua. Joshua loves you, and Joshua listens to the podcast all the time.
Are you talking about
Joshua Lair?
Okay.
All red. He listens to our podcast all the time. He comes to our LGBT. He's just amazing. He loves you. And he's like, tell Reverend Arlene, I said, hey, he loves you.
He joined our young adults ministry. Not that you joined, but he zooms in with us. And he has really unfolded in such a beautiful and powerful way. And so we're so glad he joins us on every fourth Friday night of the month. Yes. It's for our 20 to 35-year-olds. And it's an opportunity for them to come together and commune. And it actually came out of the teen ministry. Over 12 years ago, the teens who were graduating were like, hey, that sanctuary, there's over 1,000 people. And so they used Rev Michaels' visioning technique. We visioned for the next phase. And now it's been at least 10, 12 years of having Odyssey, and it's going strong. It's a powerful, intimate way of connecting. So yeah, Joshua is an amazing individual, and we love him. And he's online before we even get online. He's ready.
He's excited, and I love that. That energizes me. I'm like, I love your excitement. Thank you for energizing me. So Reverend Arlene, we asked this question. I know it's a big question, and any way you choose to answer it, I love it. I love it. So let's do it. Who are you, Rev? Who are you, Reverend Arlene? Who are you?
Who am I? You know, I am very clear that I'm an example of what we came here to do, to reveal the magnificence of our Creator. I believe that I am living my life the best that I can at the consciousness that I'm at. I am here to reveal the magnificence of God, that the presence of God is available to its own creation, not from outside of us somewhere, but from deep within our own selves. And so I practice what I preach. I think is vital that we practice what we preach. So I'm living the principles in my life with the importance of integrity. And I do believe in excellence, not perfection, but excellence. And you know, we can have joy, and there's a power. Reverend Michael gave me the quality of power as my quality when I was graduating, when I became ordained. And this power is not an egoic power. It's the power of God within us to move through these times. And I believe I get to reveal to individuals the divinity. So who am I? I'm a divine emanation of God.
Oof.
And it's such a vast, it can seem vast, but as you're living it, it reveals itself as your life in your conversations, in how you serve humanity, in how you give. It all shows up. So I continue to practice, as you spoke of earlier. I meditate every morning, prayer. I pray all day. I'm with individuals who pray. I'm at the Women's House right now, Safe Harbor Treatment Center for women, but there's also the Harbor. We now have a men's house, and I get to pray and remind individuals that you are not just a human being, that we are physical beings, but we're spiritual beings first, spiritual beings in the human condition, and that you can transcend this thing. Whatever it is, you can transcend it, right? And that you can take whatever you've been through and you can use that as your passion.
Absolutely.
To serve humanity.
Absolutely. You know? That is powerful. Already teaching is going steep and deep, y'all. So steep and deep. Hold on to your spiritual seatbelts. We are going there. In this life that you're talking about, because the reason why I wanted to do a show, which actually began with High Conscious Conversations and moved over to In the Flow on the New Thought Media Network, the reason why was about spiritual awakening. I wanted people to understand it's a journey. Where we began is not where we're ending, and it's not where we are now. So this show is all about spiritual awakening. So Reverend Arlene, I want to ask you, what is a spiritual awakening? And if you could share a little bit about your own journey of awakening, I would really love to hear that.
You know, it's so interesting that you're asking about awakening, because I'm going to tell you a moment that I will always remember. And this is a part of me with teenagers. You know, this is why I have a love for teenagers. I love teenagers. And it came out of when I was younger. But I remember as a teenager asking myself this question. And Rev Michael actually said it the other day. And I was like, dude, I was like, I can't even talk about this because people are going to think that I got it from him. But it's what happened to me. I was actually... There's two incidents that he has spoken about that has happened to him. And I'm like, I can't even say that that happened to me because it seems like ... But it's true, right?
Yeah,
so One of them is I was young and I was teenager. And I remember asking myself the question, how is it I can hear myself talking and my mouth isn't moving? That was like a moment for me, like, really? Like, I can hear myself talk, but my mouth isn't moving. And that kind of started my journey. And then I was working at Marshall Fields, and I worked with this woman who was working at the Clinique for Men counter. I've been in the first of many things. It was the first men's counter for Clinique. It was in Marshall Fields, Chicago, downtown State Street. I'm standing there. There's hardly any people in the store. And this woman is like, she's got like $800 in sales in. And I'm like, how are you doing this? Like, there's hardly any customers and you're making all this money. And we were on commission. She said, well, I study religious science and I take this class. And the name of the class was, it was with this teacher named Whitehead, and it was in the Water Tower place in Chicago. So I was like, well, shoot, I'm taking this class too. And the study book was Science of Mind. And I started studying the science of mind. And I was about 19 years old at the time. And that's how I started on this journey. But the awaken moment happened way before that. I mean, as a teenager, when I tried to commit suicide, I thought I didn't belong here, that nobody heard me, nobody understood me. I remember saying to myself, after I came out of that, after, I went to the hospital and all the things that happened in between, I remember saying to myself, I'm going to listen. And at that point, I said, yes, I'm going to listen. What I was saying, and I remember verbatim, those people don't listen. And I was speaking about adults. So that actually brought me into this journey of being with teens, where I was with Unity in Boston. And I was the supervisor of Children's Church in Boston. Ooh. And I had a teenager, I had a preteen, I had primary, I had a baby, all in one room. And I remember saying, oh, I want to work with teens. And when I moved to Los Angeles,
There you
and
go.
ended up at Agape. Reverend Leon was at Agape, and then I came in to Agape, and I ended up with the teens. And I remember in Boston, I was like, I want to work with teens, and just calling it forth without even knowing you're calling it forth.
Yes. You mentioned unity, and I love me some unity. And we had a conversation a couple of weeks ago about your roots in unity, and I believe that even the name alone, unity, really speaks words to me.
Oh, yeah.
And I have a chance to. Well, I've been doing a lot of cross working with Unity and Agape, and I do a Unity radio show with Reverend Jackie and Faith Rivera, which really opens me up to that we're all really kind of saying the same thing, but we have delivering in a different way, or we have our own flavor.
Well, yeah.
But I'm gonna bring this on to the question to you. What is and people who don't know, we're talking about the Agape International Spiritual Center here in Beverly Hills. It was once in Culver City. What is our unique flavor that we share that you don't see it like anywhere else? It's not repeatable. So what is our unique flavor with Agape?
Well, let me just say this. I want to backtrack just a little because I was with Johnny Coleman in Chicago, Universal Foundation of Better Living. I moved to Cleveland and found Johnny Coleman in Cleveland at a church there. Reverend Ann Jefferson was our minister. So I was there. Then I moved to Boston. But first I started with religious science, then Johnny Coleman. Then Boston, I was with Reverend Everett Officer at Brookline Unity Church there. And then moved here, ended up at Agape. I believe that the underlying message of oneness and love is in all of it. Yes. I believe that Johnny Coleman was more prosperity conscious as far as what she focused on. And she was more than that, but prosperity was a real core of her. Unity was more to me, all of it, a little more Christian based, metaphysical. Then I come to Agape in the beginning, metaphysical, but yet with Agape, Reverend Michael brings in the ancient wisdom. So the New Thought Ancient Wisdom, that ancient wisdom part, and really reminding us, as he says, the answer is you, that it's right here, that I don't have to go, and that I'm not limited to, not that there is a limitation, but there's many roads, the Buddhist, the Jewish, the Christian, there's many roads, yet underlying there's an ancient wisdom, and that ancient wisdom is within. And through prayer, the meditation, the visioning, all of these techniques, we get to bring it all into our way of living, if we so choose. Because I'm going to be honest. I mean, we can hear all this stuff. We can study all this stuff. But to be honest with you, it's all information until you use it for transformation.
And you embody it. I'm reading Mark Nepo's book, The Endless Practice, which I love, Mark, and I've had it for a while, but I'm going deeper into his writings. And he says that it only becomes real when we're willing to embody it. Yeah. And that is a step-by-step. That is a process. We have to be willing to live it. And I love how you put that. One of the questions I want to ask you, though, when we get to this, your purpose. And what are you doing on this? We've talked about the recovery center, and we talked about the healing that you're doing in the work. But what is your purpose, and why are you here on this planet? And some people will also say that you beautify other people. You put the makeup on some people who don't know how to put makeup on. You teach people how to embrace vegan eating and plant-based eating. I know you have mentored me and Reverend Tina and a few other people. So what is your purpose, and why are you here?
You just named it all. Come on now. Is there more?
Yes.
Purpose is so interesting, though, because my purpose is to acknowledge and recognize we exist to recognize God. This is why I believe we all exist. And it's so interesting because Martine Bernard is on, who's a good friend.
Yes, he is. He's blowing up the feed too. Thank you, Martine. Love you.
She is actually on her way with ministerial school, and she's known me for almost 30 years. So to have someone here and to know that I live it so well, that my friend is here. Because, you know, friends are like, girl, I see your life. I ain't coming to see you. You know what I mean?
Yes,
you know that
I
my
do.
Friends, that
yes.
know me, understand. You know, Reverend Coco will introduce me and she will say that I live it. You know, so what am I here to do? I'm here to reveal the magnificence and the beauty of our Creator, and to show you that it's within you. I'm here to remind you of the divine that dwells within you, that it's right where you are, that we don't have to go find it. We don't have to seek it.
Yeah.
It's right where you are.
Wow. Powerful.
And it dwells within us, because even, I'm going to be honest with you, I hear people say he, I hear people say him when they're talking about the Creator that are in these teachings. And I'm like, him who? He who? It's like, I am conscious that I do not try to describe the presence, because this presence dwells within all of us. It has to be all of us.
Martine says, preach, Rev.
We limit it and we say, oh, it's just schematics. You know, we don't. But somewhere back here, we still think of some man in the sky that's watching us and judging us. No, no, no. This presence and this power gave us everything. It all dwells within us. And we're here to remember that. And I'm here to support you in that reminder, to remind you. And how do you remember? What is the purpose of I'm Keeping True? It is daily practice. See, you know, to come and show up on a Sunday or show up on a Wednesday night, well, we didn't have that. So to watch all these things and not have a practice, because see, practice to me is daily devotion. I am devoting myself to a presence and a power that is greater than myself, that dwells with me. And I take the time to do that. We take the time to do that. There's no getting up and rushing out. Well, if you got to rush out, then you need to get up earlier.
Y'all, I hope y'all taking notes. I hope you have your journal and getting these nuggets. I remember having a conversation with you at Equinox, and it was like right at the beginning of like going into ministerial, and it was like a little stop and a little start. And I had the conversation with you, and it was you that invited me not to stop trying to compartmentalize what I was experiencing spiritually and what I was doing in fitness, because I was trying to keep that separate. I was going, okay, when I'm teaching fitness classes, I am fitness Skip. When I'm over here, I'm practitioner Skip. And our conversation we had in the middle of gym, it's like, it's all you. And I gave myself permission to show up as Rev Skip before I even got the Rev when I teach classes. I realized that was my purpose, to show up in the spirit that's right here. And I can't deny that. You helped me to get to that realization.
Let me tell you something, Skip. I just want to tell you this. That didn't come from hypothesis. I didn't hypothesize that. That came from me, 27 years as a makeup artist, in my stiletto heels, in Saks Fifth Avenue, in Barney's, in Neiman Marcus, and people from other counters coming over going, hey, you know, I had a prayer last night and this prayer came through. Or, hey, what do you think about this? Talking to me about spiritual things, because I was in the department beautifying people, supporting them and bringing out their I never did makeovers, right? I did enhancements. I brought out the best features. Nobody needs to be made over, okay?
Hands up, y'all.
Eyes, I brought out their lips, I brought out the cheekbones. But the point I'm making is, because you know I was like the point.
I love it.
I was being that in the middle of cosmetics. In the middle of cosmetics, someone will come over and say, oh, that customer was so mean and nasty. And I was like, oh, that lady? No, she was really nice to me. Or they'll go, did you see that diamond on her finger? And I'll be like, no, I didn't have time to look at that. We were busy. You know what I mean? It was just like, it's in every aspect of you. It's in all areas of our life. We can't be spiritual over here and be this over here. It's all of it, because we're whole beings. We're spirit, mind, body. So we honor the totality of us.
Yes.
Live this thing. Okay, I'm gonna try to reel it in.
Well, no, because here's the story, and I'm just thinking here because we have the segue over into the yes moment, which is the acronym on this show. We say you expressing spirit is your yes moment, this has been Reverend Arlene's yes moment throughout from the start of this podcast to now. You have been dropping so many nuggets. I go back and re-listen to this, and I got to take my notes because it's been so amazing. But this is our yes moment for you. I'm going to drop out of the feed and allow you just to express spirit as you expressing spirit. And everyone, this is Reverend Arlene Hylton, her yes moment.
My yes moment. So let's just all take a deep breath together. Everyone, deep inhale through the nose, slow exhale through the mouth. Deep inhale through the nose, slow exhale through the mouth. Again, deep inhale through the nose, slow exhale through the mouth. And understand in this moment that you didn't just take that breath, you were given breath. The breath was given. And in this very moment, I want you to imagine and recognize and acknowledge the very oxygen that you breathed in and out. You breathed in the oxygen to know it was supplied. You didn't have to look for it. You didn't have to find it. You didn't have to create it. You didn't have to make it happen. Provided for you. And so in that, I want you to sink into the moment. Just imagine being held in the hand of the universe, being held in the hand of God, and sink into this understanding. Just repeating in your mind, I am fully provided for. I am fully provided for. I am fully provided for. And to just allow that to just sink in as you naturally inhale and exhale. You're fully provided for. You don't have to make the oxygen happen. Again, it's happening. Every inhalation and exhalation, given. And so in that feeling tone, I want you to now feel it. Feel into it. Feel into the knowing that you are fully provided for. And as we allow ourselves to be in the flow of life, everything we need is called forth. We say yes to it. We allow it, and it comes forth into our lives, of course, through activity, yet just knowing that you're provided for brings forth the right people, the right circumstances. We don't have to take, we just allow. And so I'm going to ask you the question, using your imagination rightfully, this is rightful use of your imagination. What does it feel like to be totally provided for? Imagine what it feels like. Do you need to hold yourself in that knowing? Oh, I'm fully provided for. I'm fully provided for. I am fully provided for. Lean into that.
Yes.
Feel it, know it. And now take 3 deep breaths again. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose again. Exhale through the mouth. And I just speak this word for you that God is your source and your supply. Grateful for a moment to recognize that this breath has been given, that we are each individualized expression of the divine, and we are fully provided for. For every part of creation has everything it needs. A rosebud has everything it needs to be a rose. All of nature has everything it needs to be what it is. We have everything within us to reveal and be who we are. We are here to reveal God. Therefore, yes. God has provided us. This is what I know is truth. And as we rest in this knowing, all is well.
Yes.
And so it is. Amen.
So it is. Amen.
And just bring your attention back to the space. And I would like you to use that method whenever there is agitation or worry or questioning.
Yes.
Just stop yourself and remind yourself, I'm fully provided for. God is my source and my supply, just like the very oxygen I'm breathing.
Whew, that was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
My brother.
Right before, and I know we have a special guest that's about to pop in right now, but before we do that, Diego, let's bring up Reverend Arlene's website. I don't want to be amiss by us not bringing this up, and just, she's doing some really powerful things on this planet. And if you go to, can you bring up her file as well? And if you're listening to this on the podcast version of this, it will be in the program notes where you can follow Reverend Arlene. This is her on the real. This is what she does every day. This is her life she lives. One of the most inspiring women I know, people I know, ministers I know. And if you're looking for a little bit of something that's going to take you out of your doom and gloom into the glory of the Christ consciousness that's within you, follow Reverend Arlene on Instagram is Rev Arlene 1 on Instagram, and Facebook is Reverend Arlene Cecilia Hylton. Now listen, where's Cecilia coming from, yo? I always wanted to ask you that. Who's Cecilia? Who's Cecilia?
This is the deal.
Okay.
My mother was Catholic, so Cecilia is named after Saint Cecilia, number one.
Okay.
I never liked my middle name as a young girl. Nobody ever knew my name. As I got older, I embraced it. And then all of a sudden, one day on Sunday, Reverend Coco Stewart says, hey, I saw your name, Cecilia. I'm going to start using it. I was like, Reverend Coco, you didn't even ask me if you could use it. But then I was like, oh, you know what, Reverend Coco, I think you're right. I'm going to start using it. So I started using Cecilia. Also, I have an amazing cousin who works with the foster care system. She's in San Francisco. Her name is Arlene Hylton. I was like, I got to start using my whole name because
put that little in there. That little Cecilia.
My older cousin, she's amazing.
Yeah.
And but I gotta, folks were calling her trying to find me. So but I just want to share one thing because I know we're going to be closing out. So a number of years ago, you know who Reverend Nirvana Gale is, right?
Yes.
Reverend Nirvana Gale, we had a prayer call every morning for him, speaking the word for him as he was, he made his transition, but we consider healing here or on the other side, right? So Reverend Nirvana used to call me Grasshopper. That was his name for me. He'd go, hey, Grasshopper, what's going on? So one morning we call in, Reverend Michaels on, Reverend Nirvana's on, and Reverend Nirvana says, hey, Grasshopper. And Reverend Michael was like, no more Grasshopper. We need to find her a new name, right? So that week I'd gone to a police station for one of the teens. I had sat with a mother who had to take her son off of life support. It was like a crazy week, midnight, 3:00 in the morning week. So Reverend Michael said, with all she's been through, new name. They both came up with the name. Reverend Michael said, this is her new name, Full Lotus.
What?
And I hadn't been using that name. I'm officially speaking my word on your podcast today. I will start using Full Lotus. And that's my spiritual name, Full Lotus. And I'm embracing it. And what happened was I wasn't feeling well a while ago. I was out of work for about 4 weeks, home healing. My uncle had passed, and it was just one of those weeks, almost like the police station week. And I was talking, I came back, I spoke to Reverend Michael, and I was thanking him for some things. And he said, of course, Full Lotus.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that name in about 4 years. And I was like, this is it. This is my answer. And so that's my spiritual name, Full Lotus.
I love it, Full Lotus. And I'm embracing that. And I'm yes, that's a big yes. We have a special guest that's going to hop in right now. I love it when he pops into the show. Come on in, Rev Riz.
Hello.
Blessings.
Rev Full Lotus. That was a beautiful
Rev Full Lotus.
Thank you. And I'm sitting here listening, and I can't help but imagine. I just learned something I hadn't thought about Rev Skip. So I'm not much of a gambling man, but I'll put even money that since we've invoked the name of the Right Reverend Nirvana Gale in the room.
Yes.
that if there's anything in the world that Rev Skip might covet, it would be Reverend Nirvana's shoe collection.
Oh yeah,
I'm going out on a limb here. Am I right, Skip?
Oh
Skip,
my
am I
goodness,
close?
That man could dress.
Wait a minute.
I covet his shoe collection.
Reverend Nirvana Gale and I, we used to meet up when we were in Buckingham. He was over at Guidance. He would come over and visit every once in a while. He would show up. And the first thing we would jazz on is his shoes and his full head. And I would be dressed up because I was in the choir then. And it would be like, and we would be like this. And, you know, before he made his transition, he and it was Achille Beckwith, they all started to call me Rev. And I was like, no, don't you dare call me Rev. And Reverend Nirvana, we used to go, what's up, Rev? I'm going, no, not yet. I'm not ready. What? So, yes, you're right. And, you know, Rev Briz, thank you so much for wearing that Love is Love t-shirt.
That's why I dropped in.
Yes, thank you.
It came in the mail yesterday.
There it is.
I love it.
It came
Love is love.
In the mail yesterday, and I was like,
yes.
Oh my gosh, I think I got to drop in on Rev Skip tomorrow. And
thank you.
So thank you, folks.
Thank you for your support.
This is cool gear too. This is a nice, comfy T-shirt. Like
it really is.
It's nice right out of the bag. Get one.
And we're supporting some great things in the world, helping people to for their purpose, because we're all one world, as you know. We all know this. I just want to say that, you know, please support the New Thought Media Network, and you can come to our website, the New Thought Media website /donate, to really give the support our mission. Our mission here is to bring the light everywhere, and for people to understand that they're connected, they're not alone. And this again was another thing that was started out of the pandemic, or that people would understand. And look, it's flourishing now. And I'm definitely going to have Reverend Arlene back. That was one of the most dynamic interviews that I have done, and it's just been I'm blown away, absolutely blown away from what you've been dropping.
Thank you. I just want to say this also, during the pandemic, Juneteenth, I didn't know anything about.
Wow.
So I believe it opened up many people, you know, being from Jamaica, there's certain things I hadn't really been privy as information.
Yes.
So although it was meant for our ill, it was for our good.
That's right.
Because here now I understand it, and I know more about that Juneteenth.
Yes.
And I was I now understand. So I'm grateful.
Yep. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much. Everyone, you can follow me on Twitter and on Facebook and on Instagram. It is at Rev Skip Jennings. You can take me home and not cook me breakfast. You can go to my website and find out about my book, The Little Book for Big Transformations. You can find out about where I do guided meditation for Insight Timer app, my radio show with Unity Radio with Reverend Jackie, and also with Faith Rivera on Tuesday. Find out more information. Sign up for the newsletter, and we're going to begin our monthly newsletter again coming up in July. So sign up now, get all that information, and we are on the podcast streams right now, y'all. Wherever you stream and listen to your podcast, you can re-listen to these incredible nuggets that Reverend Arlene has been dropping for us. We're on Spotify, we're on Google Podcasts, we're on Pandora. Wow. We're still working on Apple now. Y'all keep us in prayer, because something has a disconnect with Apple, and I've had several podcasts on Apple, and for some reason it's not jiving, it's not happening, but it's going to be everywhere you listen to your podcast. And that is a process, and that is too where I get to get in the flow and go, hold on, God's in control of this. I don't have to make anything happen. I just need to get into the flow. I think that's it. Reverend Arlene, again, thank you so much. It has been such a pleasure. It's been beautiful. And
all my peeps, thank you.
Yes, everyone. Janice has been on, and Martin has been on, and Wayne has been on. Oh, the crew,
honey, Martine Bernard, darling.
I love it. I love it. So, and Martine is going into ministerial.
Yeah.
Congratulations, sister. Congratulations. And also, Reverend Sandra's on. You have a big following.
I can't see that.
Okay, so you have a big following. We love you here.
Yes.
Thank
I'm
you
grateful.
so much.
I'm looking
Thank
forward
you.
to coming back. I appreciate
Please
it.
do. And
Yeah,
and remember, everyone, transformation is a choice, and you can choose today. Be
Yeah.
well and be blessed. Until next week, stay safe and in love. Peace.
Peace and love.
Thanks for joining us on today's episode of In the Flow. If you enjoyed this programming, please help us spread this joy. Be sure and give this video a like, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. New Thought Media Network can be found on Facebook or our YouTube channel. Additional contributions are greatly appreciated at ntmedia.org/donate or find Rev Skip on PayPal and Venmo. Tune in on Fridays, 10 a.m. Pacific, 11 Mountain, when Rev Skip welcomes a new guest. Until then, faith, love, openness, and willingness keeps us in the flow.